Welcome to Wednesday in the Word. We're coming to you today from a very special location. We're in Cherokee County, North Carolina at Fields of the Wood. This is a special place for the Church of God of Prophecy. This shows our heritage and where we have come from. I want to just briefly share something with you today about our church, Missions Month, and what this all can mean in your personal life. Right on this spot, there was a house owned by W.F. Bryant. And in this small house, this church that was known as the Holiness Church at Camp Creek, that W.F. Bryant was a part of and was a continuation of R.G. Sperling's beginning back in 1886. In this group, in this small house church, here in the middle of really nowhere, because we are definitely in the country if you've ever been here, in the middle of nowhere in the mountains of North Carolina, just a couple of miles from the state line of Tennessee. A man by the name of A.J. Tomlinson came in to this group, and he became very interested in their teachings. And if Susan, she's going to pan behind you just very quickly, and she will show you that on the morning of June 13th of 1903, A.J. Tomlinson arose and he went to the top of this mountain, and there he prayed and he prevailed, and he felt like this was the church that he needed to be a part of. And so then he came back down and he became a member of this group, and as their pastor. He became later as his pastor. So this little group, this is when he joined on that day, it kind of formally brought this group together and began to function as the Church of God that we know today and are a part of. A year later, they moved from here in this little place, they moved to Cleveland, Tennessee, so they could be closer to a train where they could further spread the gospel. In only 20 years, this group of around 20 people in this church, house church, grew to 20,000 people. And so they went from here in Appalachia and they've spread the word around the world. These spiritual pioneers, in their beginning, they traced their roots to the New Testament, and they considered themselves a continuation of the spirit-filled Christianity that was exhibited in the book of Acts. That's one important thing. That's a little heritage of our church. The next thing I want to share is also, this is World Missions Month in the Church of God of Prophecy. And this church that actually had its kind of formal organization here of around 20 people has now grown to over 1.5 million members in 135 nations around the globe. And while it began here in Appalachia in North America, now nearly 90% of our membership is outside of North America. Not only have we reached, as the Church of God of Prophecy, 1.5 million people with the gospel, from this little group, there are at least 6 other denominations that lay claim to this being a part of their founding and their heritage. And so when you include all 6 of those plus our organization, we have reached well into the millions of people with the gospel of Jesus Christ from this little handful of people that wanted to obey God, follow the Word, and be led of the Spirit. It reminds me of something, a scripture in Job chapter 8 and verse 7. The Bible says in Job, "Though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase." And surely their beginning was small, our beginning was small, but it has greatly increased. And I believe it's going to continue to increase around the world. Now, I've come here today to show you a little bit of our church heritage. You saw at the beginning, Ten Commandment Mountain, and there's another place where you can take a road up on top of Ten Commandment Mountain, and it leads to what they call an All Nations Cross, where on that cross they have flagpoles that display all the flags of the nations of the church of the nations where the Church of God of Prophecy is in existence. It's a beautiful sight when it's all on display. Up Prayer Mountain now we have our teachings on different markers, our prominent teachings that are listed. And there's many historical events that have taken place here. But I wanted to bring you here today to show you a little bit of our heritage. And also I wanted to remind you of Mission Month and how that what we're doing as a local church in Douglasville, while we may be small, it can have large results as we are helping people in Kenya and around the world. So this small beginnings can touch people all across the globe. Surely world missions is a great thing in our organization. But I want to close with this personally. We see this organization that we're a part of that has sprung and also produced other organizations and millions of Christians through the beginnings in this little house church. Well, I want to tell you today, for you personally, I want you to realize you may feel small, you may feel like you're insignificant, and you may feel like you're out here in a wilderness 5 miles from nowhere. That may be how you feel in your life. That may be what's going on with you. But I want to tell you something. If God can take a little group and reach millions of people in the world from this small beginning, and He saw them, if you'll do as they did, if you'll follow God, if you'll pray and prevail, God sees you. He knows where you are, and you're important to Him, and He can take what seems small and insignificant to many people, and He can turn it into something wonderful in your life. Oh, you may not build a worldwide organization, but if it's big to you, it's big to God, and He can answer whatever needs you have. I pray you've received something during this time of devotion today, and I hope someday we can all take a trip up here and enjoy this beautiful place. But the Lord bless you and keep you, make His face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious unto you and to give you peace. We love you, and God bless you, and I hope to see you this coming Sunday, either online or at church in person. God bless you.